Dear students, today we are going to learn about the functional foods and the nutraceuticals, their definition and concept of functional foods and teleology of nutraceuticals. Functional foods, basically for sustaining our human health, we were advocated since time immemorial the balanced diet. But some of the ingredients and the molecules which are bioactive in nature or functional components which are termed as phytochemicals and the nutraceuticals, they work beyond the nutrition. Therefore, some of these important functional foods and the nutraceuticals which are helpful in managing our health effectively against various diseases which we are going to deal in today's class. Today we discuss about the food and its importance. Food, a paradigm that defines us. Food, most important driving force for advancement of primitive human into the evolved man. So if we really think about why we should eat food, right from the conception, before we arrive into the world, from the womb of the mother till we reaches the tomb, we have to travel a lot. To travel that we require food, different foods which we eat, and we should understand what for those foods really. Food is essential not only for body functions but also to improve health and well-being. Food delivers a large number of physiologically active small molecules that exert both beneficial and deleterious effects. So we will also know a little bit about the definitions of these functional foods and nutraceuticals. What are functional foods? Natural or processed foods that contain known or unknown biologically active compounds. These foods, they are effective and non-toxic in amounts which provide a clinically proven and a documented health benefit for the prevention, management and treatment of chronic diseases. These are about the functional foods. Then what about the nutraceuticals? Chemical components of food, when ingested in appreciable amounts, demonstrate attributes such as good bioavailability, bioefficacy and exert positive effects on health characterized by disease prevention and alleviation. We should also understand the word bioavailability. See, mere content in the food is not going to be helpful. There are many factors which will influence the bioavailability, absorption, and some molecules convert into the active molecules is very, very important. Therefore, the term bioavailability is also very important when we are learning about these functional foods and nutraceuticals. So we go through the functional foods, which may be whole foods, or it can be enriched, or we can fortify these foods, or can be enhanced also. So thus functionality of a particular molecule or ingredient in the food can be of different kinds. Some of them we can even enhance them, we can enrich them, we can fortify with particular nutrient or a phytonutrient or a bioactive molecules to increase the functionality. So there are various kinds that we could see in these foods. For example, if you take in whole foods. In whole foods, an example of green leafy vegetables as such, if you take, or for example like a groundnut which you will eat, or the whole milk which you directly get from the cow or buffalo or goat or sheep or given camel for that matter, which we drink the milk for our nutritional purposes and beyond nutrition too. And some of the important molecules in these whole foods, an example of beta carotene, lycopene, omega-3 fatty acids, flavonoids, phenols, isoflavonols, flavones, all of these are phytochemicals, what we call. Phyto means plant origin chemicals which are present in these whole foods which are beneficial beyond nutrition. So if we go into some of the examples and looking at their examples and the potential health benefits also, an example of a lycopene. Lycopene is a red color compound The moment lycopene means in your mind you should get the tomato. Tomato, the red color is because of the lycopene. Tomatoes and even watermelon, when you cut the watermelon, you could see the redness, the pigment, the molecule which is present abundantly is lycopene. Actually, this lycopene is a polyene structured molecule which is a powerful antioxidant which is abundantly present in these examples which I have just quoted about the tomatoes and the watermelon. Potential benefits, particularly for health, is reduces the risk of some cancers. It has been proven. Some cancers you can inhibit or you can even prevent that. An example of various cancers may not be, but few cancers are attributable which can be inhibited effectively using these molecules. Another compounds like lutein and zeaxanthin, these are also carotenoids group like lycopene, which are also present in the green leafy vegetables, roots and tubers also. An example of kale, collards, spinach, corn, an animal origin food like eggs are also is full of these two molecules, lutein and zeaxanthin. These help maintain healthy vision. Person should always have a vision for his life, but he should have a good vision to see the life. So which is possible using these molecules through the various foods, which are functionality which it contains can be eaten in a sufficient quantities to get the benefit effectively. Next part is the class or the component is the whole grains. Whole grains means, for example, like you take the wheat, whole wheat. Whole wheat, you make it into the flour, atta, what we call, and we consume it as a roti or semolina. But these are all cereal grains. I have just given you an example of wheat. For example, like maize also, even barley also. All these are all whole grains which are much beneficial, particularly for cardio health, cardiovascular diseases, and also some of the cancers too. Beta carotene is also a carotenoid compound which is abundantly present in the green leafy vegetables and fruits. Roots, which is carrot, is known for its richness of beta carotene. And many fruits like your oranges, your papaya, your guava, your watermelon, sapota, all these are all having beta carotene molecule. Beta carotene is a vitamin A precursor. It can convert to vitamin A in the body, human body, which helps in vision too, in addition what we have discussed about the lutein and zeaxanthin. But this is, in addition to the vision, the beta carotene as a powerful antioxidant works against cancer also. It helps in antioxidant defenses in the body. The another component is the insoluble fiber. That's the fiber is the class of component from the dietary fiber. So dietary fiber can be of two parts, of both insoluble and soluble fiber. But insoluble fiber, what we are discussing here, is an example of the food source is a wheat bran, which maintains a healthy GI, gastrointestinal tract. So some of the examples for the enriched foods, what we have just discussed about the natural foods, the whole grains and the molecules which are present in fruits and vegetables, what we have discussed. Now I am entering into the enriched foods. Enriched foods have nutrients added back. Grain enrichment nutrients include iron, thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, folate. These can be added to the ingredient. For example, you take a flour. A flour can be enriched with iron, or salt can be enriched with iron or iodine for that matter. So like that, now even the whole grains are sprinkled with a particular nutrient. When you feel that particular, for example, if you take lysine is a compound with a amino acid, which is less in the cereals. But usually we mix them with pulses where you have lots of cereals, but methionine is less, that methionine comes here. So that is food to food we are mixing there. But here enriching means you are literally adding a molecule into this. For example, a flour which we have given, or you can enrich these various molecules to get the benefit. Another important thing is about the fortified foods. Milk for example, have nutrients added that may not have been present in the original food. See, earlier what we are talking about, the foods may be having but limited quantities where you are enriching there, which is already present. But here fortification, for example, if you take milk or orange juice, what compounds are not present also can be fortified with this. Example, milk and margarine, you can fortify this with the vitamin A. Orange juice can be added with calcium. Or some breakfast cereals also, you can add either iron or even for that matter the calcium. So that this way fortified foods also can be enriched. And the third one is the enhanced foods. Foods that have ingredients added that are not vitamins and minerals. Examples, soup and teas with added herbs. Nowadays a lot of herbs are available in the market. Cereals with added psyllium. This is to enrich the fibrous part. Margarine with added plant sterols, stanol esters. These are also works as an antioxidant. Oryzanol fortified cooking vegetable oil. See, you can have this in bran, usually in rice bran oil you get oryzanol. But a cooking vegetable oil can also be enhanced by fortifying with the oryzanol compound. You can get the benefits against the cardiovascular diseases. So what are the strategies to develop functional food ultimately? Eliminating a deleterious compound, you can see either you can add or delete also to improve the functionality of a particular food. Increasing the concentration of a component naturally present in food to a point at which it will induce predicted effects. Adding a beneficial component. Replacing a component, usually a macronutrient. Increasing bioavailability or stability of a functional component, which is very important. Initially I was discussing about bioavailability. See, sometimes the compound is in a limited quantities in a particular food, for example. But that food which we are consuming regularly, just because it has lower quantities, amounts of a particular micronutrient, you cannot just discard that food. But how to improve the bioavailability, one should think. An example which I am just telling it to you, the strategy is, for example, to boost the iron bioavailability, usually we advocate the citrus fruit, which can enhance the iron bioavailability. How functional foods act in various ways in our human body. Gastrointestinal functions, upregulation of antioxidant defenses, facilitating cellular and physiological metabolic homeostasis, upregulation of detoxification defenses. These are some of the functional foods acts. So what are the types of functional foods? See, for example, food as a source of vitamins. You take, for example, vitamin C, biotin, folate, niacin, pantothenic acid, thiamine, vitamin B12, vitamin A, D, E, K. These vitamins, they have different biological functions in our body. And when they are in deficiency, they create a sort of a problem. We will just go through quickly some of the examples like vitamin C. Vitamin C biological function is cofactor in many enzymatic reactions, including collagen synthesis, metal ion homeostasis, antioxidant molecule also vitamin C. When we are not consuming in right quantities according to the recommended dietary allowances, the deficiencies can occur. These deficiencies will lead to scurvy, poor wound healing, vasomotor instability, and connective tissue disorders also can occur. Like vitamin A is another example, very critical component of rhodopsin involved in visual cycle, acts as a agonist of nuclear receptors involved in development. So in the deficiency, it creates a night blindness so that we cannot see properly. Particularly this occurs in the children. Xerophthalmia, Bitot spots, and ultimately in a severe conditions, person can become blind too. So likewise, vitamin K, if we take another example, critically required for vitamin K dependent carboxylases that are involved in clotting and bone homeostasis. Vitamin K is a fat soluble vitamin. So hemorrhagic disease of the newborn, impairments in bone health, particularly vitamin K is involved. So what are all the other aspects of functional foods, particularly with probiotics? A live microbial food ingredient that is beneficial to health. Probiotics afford following benefits: antimicrobial effects, protects against pathogens, may protect against cancer too, alleviate lactose intolerance, may improve metabolic health, protection against obesity and diabetes also. So the moment probiotics means you should get into your mind about our dahi, which we do culturing the milk, ultimately making the dahi. Few probiotics that are currently available across many platforms for commercial utilization. An example of Lactobacillus acidophilus, Lactobacillus casei shirota, acidophilus. Various variants are available commercially of different species also, and particularly Lactobacillus species of various variants are available for making these products. Antimicrobial produced by prebiotics. Example of Bulgarican, lactolin, lactocin, diplococin, lacticin, nisin, lactocidin, lactobrevin, like that. Many examples which we could see it with the antimicrobial. Garlic as a functional food. So since time immemorial, in our country particularly, our people are using in the traditional diet, garlic is one of the main ingredients. Garlic is used as spice, herb and vegetable whose biological properties are attributable to low molecular weight sulfur compounds. They have the sulfur compounds. Known for antimicrobial, anti-cancer, anti-diabetic, anti-inflammatory and antioxidant activities, as well as ability to improve cardiovascular health. Ginger as functional food. The root of Gingiber officinale is used as a spice in large variety of vegetable and meat preparations. Ginger may exert beneficial effects against nauseating, discomforts, platelet aggregation and cardiovascular diseases. Dyslipidemia, inflammation, oxidative stress and hypertension too. This ginger is very, very useful. In addition, reports indicate that ginger possesses anti-mutagenic, antimicrobial properties. Fenugreek is also a very important functional food. Both the leaves and the seeds of fenugreek plant are used. Fenugreek seed, which is used as spice in culinary practices, is known to exert a large spectrum of therapeutic effects such as gastroprotectant activity, hepatoprotectant activity, anti-diabetic activity, antioxidant activity, hypocholesterolemic activity. The anti-diabetic effects of fenugreek are attributable to components such as 4-hydroxyleucine, disogenin and galactomannan. These are the active principles of this functional food. Tomato is a functional food. Tomato, although termed as a fruit, it is considered and used as a vegetable in our culinary practices. It is a principal ingredient in wide variety of products. The importance of the tomato as a vegetable is exemplified by the fact that it is fourth most heavily consumed vegetable in the world. It delivers a healthy dose of carotenoids such as lycopene and provitamin A, beta-carotene and vitamin C and E. Most of the functional effects of tomatoes are attributable to its carotenoids content. A case-controlled study suggested that consumption of tomato products and other lycopene-containing foods might reduce the occurrence or progression of prostate cancer. High levels of lycopene have been linked to reduced risk of cardiovascular diseases. Experimental studies indicate that tomatoes or its constituents may exert neuroprotective, antioxidant and diabetic effects. Hope you all well aware now about the functional foods, nutraceuticals, what we have discussed so far. In conclusion, food delivers a distinct set of small molecules which are associated with strong biological activity. These are called phytochemicals, nutraceuticals. These molecules could elicit a wide array of effects, and depending on nature of molecule and dosage, these substances can elicit either beneficial or sometimes deleterious effects. Therefore, the biological activity and safety aspects should form the basis for selection of functional foods and nutraceuticals for exploiting their disease preventive and therapeutic attributes.